All right, time to go. Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. The WSL action continues. This is the last game of game week 12. London City taking on Liverpool. Should be a really interesting game today. Liverpool obviously sat bottom of the league, just 3 points to their name so far this season, yet to win in the Women's Super League. But this does feel a game. London City under a new manager today after sacking in quite bizarre circumstances manager Eder Maestre. It does feel like an opportunity for Liverpool if they can take advantage of it. So, Harry, what do we expect from today's game?
I think we've got to expect the unexpected. We have no idea what's going to happen into this game. Massive opportunity for Maestre and Liverpool, and against the Liverpool side that are winless so far. So yeah, I think it's really hard to call what's going to happen. As you say, a bit of a bizarre decision to sack Eder Maestre. We spoke about it over the winter break, but to get rid of a manager who had won half of his fixtures with a newly promoted side feels a very interesting decision. It's up to Eder Maestre to show why they've done that and to show this future project and this brilliant football. They're expecting him to come in and play, but an opportunity for Liverpool to potentially take advantage of the fact that London City wouldn't have fully bedded in or settled into the way that he wants to play football. So Gareth Taylor will know that, and Liverpool will look to use their new signings, use the reinforcements to try and get their first 3 points on the board.
Absolutely. And while speaking of new signings, let's take a look at who starts for the sides today. We're at the St Helens Stadium on Merseyside, so we'll start with the Liverpool team. It is a 4-2-3-1 for the Reds. We're going to have to try and piece together what's going to happen in attacking areas, but the defence is fairly self-explanatory. In goal, Jennifer Falk, huge new signing coming in on loan from BK Herken, makes her first start for Liverpool. A back four then of Schmitz at right back, Fisk and Clark the centre back partnership, and Woodham at left back. In the midfield, it looks like a pivot of Nagano and McLean, with then some sort of attacking configuration of Bergstrom, I think, on the right wing, Holland on the left wing, or Kapox on the left wing. So we don't know at the moment. Kapox potentially in the 10, and then Enderby leading the line. So Liverpool's attack, lacking Beta Olsen today, their top goal scorer, their only goal scorer really. She's been so pivotal to their attacking contributions this season. Where do you see the attacking threat coming from today, Harry? Can they replace what they miss without her?
Yeah, it is a big miss, but as you say, I think they have got some quality options. Cornelia Kapox, before Olsen hit the ground running, was that outlet to start the season, and we know the quality that she possesses. I think it also presents a brilliant opportunity for Bergstrom to come in and deliver from the off. Liverpool aren't going to be relying on her, but I think it's a good opportunity for her to step up and immediately kind of get these Liverpool fans to fall in love with her and get on board with the talent that she is. So we know Liverpool have got quality. I think between the two of them, they'll try and work it together. And again, Holland, an experienced player who can also come up big for Liverpool when they need her to. But yeah, so it will be interesting to see how they replace Beta Olsen and her brilliant form that she's been in. But I think that the major positive has to be that they should look so much stronger defensively. I look at Falk in goal, I look at the back four today, and I just feel so much more positive about its opportunities. I think it'll be interesting to see what the configuration is. I mean, Fisk could be at right back, but I think I'd like to see her back in at centre half, and then put Schmitz at one of the full backs. But it'll be interesting to see how it does shape up for them. But yeah, I think this 11 looks so much more positive for Liverpool. You think if you throw Beta Olsen back in here when she's fit, and other players once they return from injury, and suddenly you can see why there's a lot more optimism going into this season. You look at their results in the first half of the campaign, they aren't results that represent a side that sit bottom of the table. So yeah, I think today, new year, new opportunity, new players in the door, they've got a good chance today of trying to get something on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Falk is that game-changing signing. Liverpool this season, the side in the WSL with the biggest underperformance in terms of expected goals against. They conceded 4 more goals than underlying data suggests they should have. So, yeah, they've clearly done very poorly in terms of their defending. I think a big part of that has been the goalkeeper. I think there has been a lot of mistakes this season. Beaugraf came in and looked a little bit better than Kirby, but Kirby's really struggled at times, lots of individual errors. I think Falk comes in, adds a bit of experience to a backline and a team in general that's really lacking it, but also is a goalkeeper who's really secure. We've seen that for so long at BK Herken. She's coming across now to WSL. Yes, it's a new environment, but goalkeeping skills should translate fairly nicely. So I think it's a great signing for Liverpool. And that could be the difference today, is having a goalkeeper who Liverpool can finally trust. Let's take a look then at the visitors then. London City, it's going to be difficult to piece together what they're doing from the off as well. This could look to me either as a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3. It depends on the use of Saki Kumagai. In goal, it's going to be Leet, a back three then of Sangare, Kumagai and Linari. Wing backs of Fernandez and Corrales. A midfield pivot of Rodar and Gayoro. Two attacking players of Aslani and Godfrey on either side of the striker, Nikita Paris. So it looks like it'll be a three-back. We've seen him use a three-back Eder Maestre a lot in Liga F. What he tended to do was a 5-3-2, so potentially we'll see Aslani actually part of that midfield three, and then Godfrey as one of the two strikers today. That could be what we see. I was a little surprised to see both Godfrey and Aslani involved, but that is what he's gone for from the off. It could be a formation change as well, but I'm going off what we saw Maestre use in Liga F is what we can go off at the moment. If it is to be that shape, what are your thoughts on his selection?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It's another case of what we saw earlier with Rita Guarino, that a new manager who's come in the winter break, first game of their tenure, and Maestre here has adopted for the same personnel, but probably in a slightly different system. It's the same players that Proyshare was using, the same mix that we've seen for the first half of the campaign play for London City Lionesses, but we know that it will be a bit of a shift, a bit of a different way of playing under the new manager, and it'll be interesting to see how they adapt to that. But we know it can take time to adapt to new systems, to adapt to new coaches, and that is something that I think Liverpool have got to look to punish today. But yeah, I think overall it's a good London City side. They've got some quality players in there, and again, if they can get the likes of Aslani and Paris on the ball, then they can cause some problems. But I think what we're looking for from London City today is the performance. The reason they sacked Jocelyn Proyshare was because although the results were there, the performances weren't representative of where they stand in the table. Today, and under the new manager, they expect to play better football with the players they've got and where they are in the league. Although they're newly promoted, we know the higher-ups at the club have these lofty ambitions to somehow be qualifying for the Champions League in this season or next. So, we're expecting to see that kind of level of performance from them. I don't think we'll get it today because of course they're still learning, but we want to see them putting in the building blocks in place, and it'll be interesting to see how they do get on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, players are making their way onto the field. So let's dive into our predictions ahead of this game. If you're watching along to the live show, want to get involved, then let us know your scoreline prediction in the live chat. We're going to kick things off here in the studio, though, and we'll start, as always, with yourself, Harry. What is your prediction for this game?
I think it's going to be a really tight one. I think it's going to be down to fine margins, but I'm going to back Liverpool to take their first win of the season. I'll say Liverpool 2, London City Lionesses 1. I think that the recruitment in January is going to bear fruitful for Liverpool. I do think London City will play better, and Falk will be called into action, but I think she could really make the difference today in terms of being clean, keeping out chances and being clear cut when defending. But I like the back four. I think they'll look a bit more secure, whereas London City, I think they'll play good football once they get forwards, but I think those defensive errors could still creep in. So I will say 2-1 to the host. I think they'll take the lead early through Cornelia Capox. I will say London City to equalise through Nikita Paris, and then a late level up from Bergstrom to really put her name out there with the Liverpool fans, and to become a fan favourite already, and to get Liverpool and Gareth Taylor their first victory of the season.
That would be really important. I do agree. I think there's a real marked improvement from Liverpool in terms of performance. My concern is I don't see where the goals come from today. I think Capox has been really good this season. Enderby stepped up in their last WSL match against West Ham, but I don't see that without Beta Olsen they're able to offer the same sort of threat in front of goal. So I think they'll play a lot better. I think they'll be very wasteful, though, in the final third, and that will ultimately cost them. I'm going to say Liverpool 1, London City 1. Again, I think it'll be a game that London City will ride their luck at times. I think they've been very good this season. They've got a very strong squad. They've been very good at those players of making performances that perhaps aren't quite good enough, but getting the results over the line. I think they'll do that again today. I think they'll be keen to get keep the okay run of the season going and stay mid-table. A point would also be their first draw of the season. We haven't seen London City draw a game yet, so it's going to be interesting to see how they line up today under Maestre. It's still an unknown what they're going to actually look like on the field. Will it be a 3-4-3? Will it be a 4-3-3? We can't be sure. So I think it will make a very interesting tactical battle. I will say Cornelia Capox to score for Liverpool. I think she's been so important for them this season. And I will say a goal from Nikita Paris. Actually, no, I'm going to go Aslani from the spot again. Yeah. That seems to be happens every London City game. Bailey with the only prediction in the live chat going 3-0 London City. Emily Torres as well going Liverpool 1-0. Let's keep predictions rolling in as we kick off here at St Helens Stadium. It's going to be Liverpool to get us underway in this match. Can they claim their first win of the season as we start the new year? Kapox from the middle, waiting for the referee's whistle. Referee confirming both goalkeepers are ready to get proceedings underway here. Now we'll blow her whistle and Kapox can get us started. She'll take her time. Or the referee may be checking something else. I assume this isn't Kapox delaying. She does now knock it back. Are underway here in this game as Liverpool taking on London City Lionesses. 12th versus 7th in the division. Liverpool in hunt of their first win of the campaign. London City, their first game under new manager Eder Maestre. And it's London City on the ball early on. So Liverpool went long, wanting to put London City in possession, put some pressure on them early on. That's a great win there from Risa Shimizu. Pass inside to Kapox. Tidy turn there, but is unable to hold on to the ball. Now London City looking to play in behind quickly. It's Aslani into Nikita Paris. Paris forced backwards. So early signs for Liverpool. It's going to be Kapox in the 10, Enderby leading the line, and Holland on the left wing. Do you think that is the right configuration for Liverpool?
Yeah, I think so. Enderby, now she's got that first goal against West Ham, will look to kick on. We know, I think Kapox has done well in the 10. We know she, I think Enderby is probably the most natural number 9 out of all of them.
And a 4-3-3 for London City, at least in possession today. Kumagai playing a slightly higher role. I think that would be more beneficial for them as well.
Yeah, I think so. Kumagai's a player that we've seen make quite a lot of individual errors this season, and when the last line of defence are the ones making errors, you usually concede goals. Playing higher up, it gives her a bit more freedom, and if she does make a mistake, it's less likely to be punished with the ball hitting the back of the net.
Yeah, Clark does well to force Paris back there, but she does squeeze the pass out to Jana Fernandez, who's dispossessed quickly by Holland, and Liverpool coming forwards. Great drive here from Holland, who's got away from Jana Fernandez. Chance now for Liverpool. Holland blocked well by Sangare. Perhaps should have looked to pass that instead of going for the shot herself. But a good start for Liverpool, registering the first shot of the game. Shimizu, as they look to recycle this. Bergstrom now wants to take on Corrales. No room there for Alice Bergstrom to attack into. Still batting away with Corrales, and she's shoved off there. Good defending by Lucia Corrales.
Yeah, good battle between the two of them. I'm sure that's one that we will see rage on as the game continues. But yeah, positive start for Liverpool. Holland does really well to pick up off the misplaced pass, and as you say, probably should have done better once she got into the position. When you've got Sangare that close in front of you, I think as an attacker you've got to realise that there's a very minimal chance that you're going to get that ball through her into the back of the net.
Absolutely. Good hold up there from Paris. Lays it off to Aslani, looking to knock it in behind for the run of Grace Gayoro. And that's a good piece of defending there from Grace Fisk, just to knock it out of play.
And that's what having Fisk gives Liverpool. What's happening every time that Paris is dropping in to receive the ball and Clark can go with her. Clark can do that because Fisk is behind her. When you've got when you haven't got your captain there and maybe some less experience,
also gives you Shimizu as well.
Yeah, and that is a good point. That also helps when you've got those two experienced, more higher quality defenders. You can afford to send Clark to follow Paris and still have enough players back to back yourselves.
Here is Freya Godfrey, a little isolated on this right hand side. Fernandez, now Sangare, and that's a poor pass. And Enderby could get their lead out quickly though to sweep up. Enderby just never seemed to get the launch there, that sort of launch off when she was running towards it. And Elite swept up nicely to deal with the danger. Here's Fisk.
And that's exactly what I spoke about a few moments ago doing my prediction. I think that even if London City could look good on the ball coming forwards, those defensive errors are still there for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Liverpool coming forwards now. Woodham into Holland in the half space. Now Fisk. He's going to look to carry this ball forwards now for Liverpool. Shifts it to Woodham, who goes back to Clark. We haven't really seen London City be able to get that ball forwards and combine in attack yet. And the more that Liverpool can restrict London City being able to do that, because they've had a bit of the ball, have London City, they've just not really been able to do much with it. Fisk. Looking to play out to the left-hand side. That one difficult, though, for Holland to do anything with over ahead.
And that's the thing that Liverpool don't need to do today. If they try and force it through, it's just going to allow London City to turn the ball over really easily. If that switches on, absolutely go for it. But I think especially in these early stages, if you've got a foot on the ball, and because Fisk wasn't under much pressure there at all. I think that you've got to try and just, if you retain the ball, London City can't really hurt you.
Yeah, I agree. I also think it's a fine balance because if you move the ball quickly, it's easier to break through London City. And I think often we've seen them when they're defending on the back foot and they're defending in transition, that's when they often get caught out more easily. So yeah, it's a fine balancing act, but I broadly agree. What you've also got with Kumagai and Rodar now is that it's giving Grace Gayoro more license to roam, and if she can be that attacking presence and that sort of more box-to-box midfielder, that will give London City something else, another dimension to their attack. It'll also help them progress the ball a lot better. Here is Fisk. Now across to Clark. Plays it into Holland, now back to Fisk. Who's carrying it forward, slips it into Holland, who can bounce it back to McLean. Tidy stuff there from the Scot. Fisk. And now Clark. Inside Tuka Parks, who gets away from Gayoro. Gayoro brings her down. That's a contentious one, but it's been given as a free kick. Much the frustration there of the French midfielder.
Yeah, I think Kapox had done well. Has done well to win that. Gayoro was strong, but fair.
Yeah. Fisk. Plays it into McLean. Back to Fisk. Now it's the left-hand side. Kept on well by Holland. Because the touch wasn't great. Here's Fisk. Nagano. Trying to open up the space for the pass out to the right-hand side. Now Bergstrom. Who wants to take on Corrales. It's already emerging as a brilliant battle. She takes it past two now, Bergstrom. Still got the ball. Lifts it out to the right-hand side to Kapox, who's filled in on this right flank. Rodar's gone with her. Kapox goes back towards Shimizu, but it's won back by Aslani. And now they're driving forwards Rodar, and there's a foul in there. Kapox dragging back, or pulling back Julia Rodar, and that will be a free kick for London City.
Yeah, better from Liverpool. It was good football from Bergstrom, beating a couple of players. Thought the pass was probably, I don't think it was the wrong pass. I think it just wasn't executed perfectly, and it really pinned Kapox into the corner.
Yeah, there's a bit too much on it. I think there are better options to the left, personally, if she kept going the way she was. Just because there was only Kapox on that right side, which was quite isolated. Here is Cornelia Kapox in that 10 role. Kumagai on her back, trying to force her backwards, and the pass does go into Fisk. Now McLean, who finds space in the pocket, now tries to knock it in behind, and Holland will lose that foot race to Fernandez. Sangare into Paris, bounces back to Rodar. Now looking for the third man run of Godfrey in a foot chase now with Clark, who can go comfortably back to Jennifer Falk. And this will allow Liverpool just to settle on the ball. And already they look much more comfortable in possession. You take Evans and Kirby and Parry out of this side, and how much better on the ball do they look? You bring back Fisk, Shimizu, you bring in Jennifer Falk. They look so much more composed. I mean, inevitably now they're going to give the ball away and immediately concede a goal, but as is the curse. But yeah, they look much more comfortable in possession.
Yeah, of course. Again, I think obviously we speak about that winter break rustiness wearing off, especially for someone like Grace Fisk, who was also out with an injury for the last couple of weeks of the year.
Tidy from Nagano finds Holland now. She was actually looking for the wide run of Lily Woodham, I think. Brilliant interception in there from McLean. And Kapox now can feed it into Bergstrom. Kapox goes and supports. Now it's with Shimizu trying to lift it in behind. Good run from Enderby. She's not happy about the way she was held by Sangare, but you've got to keep running there. That's never going to be a penalty. You've just got to keep running. If she drags her down, then you get the penalty. Yeah,
I understand frustrations, but yeah, the thing very frustrating there that she stopped. You don't need to stop there. You can't afford to do that.
Yeah. If it's deeper in the field, that might be given as a free kick, but that's never going to be a penalty, a little holding.
No.
When the ball's not even fallen yet. Nagano, McLean, wide now into Woodham. Plus, you don't need to dive or try and win a penalty against London City. It's going to happen anyway. Here's McLean with the record they've got this season. Already 4, I believe, given away, which is the same amount as Tottenham, who last season were the most in the WSL.
Yeah.
Kumagai losing out in there. Linari bails her out somewhat. Corrales now into Aslani under pressure from Shimizu. Here's Saki Kumagai again. And Liverpool doing a really good job at the moment of just forcing London City's hand. Forcing them backwards. Here is Wasa Sangare. Fernandez back now to our goalkeeper, Lee. Now looking to lift it out to the left-hand side. Corrales brings it down. Wants to dart inside with the ball. Goes back to Sangare, the centre of this defence. And that's one back well in there by Holland. That's definitely a foul from Gayoro. A second in the opening 10 minutes here.
Yeah.
She just pulls down Holland.
Again, another error playing out the back for Sangare again. Misplaced pass. Gives it straight to Holland and Gayoro. I think she feels she has to foul her there. If she doesn't, and Holland's got a lot of space to run into and try and attack the goal. A little bit fortunate as well to avoid a yellow card. But yeah, first 10 minutes, really positive from Liverpool. That's the third or fourth time they've turned the ball over high up the pitch, and now they've got an opportunity from this free kick to try and make something happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Good start to this game for Liverpool. Arguably started the better side. The only side so far to have a shot. And this is a weird position for the free kick. It's difficult to know what to do with these kind of set pieces. I wonder if they might go short, and they do indeed go to Lily Woodham. Woodham now tries to loop into the box, but it was read by Fernandez, and she put enough pressure on Woodham to make that a poor decision. And it goes all the way back now to Falk, as Liverpool just look to settle back into their in-possession shape.
Yeah, those kind of free kicks, if you're going to go short, you've got to be quick about it. That ball from Holland to Woodham had to be a little bit quicker, and then Woodham's touch was just a bit too open, and it allowed Fernandez to nick in there and get a touch.
Yeah, Emily's saying it feels like a more positive start from us. Well, absolutely. I mean, much more positive than their start in the last competitive fixture they had, where they lost 9-1 to Chelsea. But also just based on their baseline this season, also a really strong start to this match. Alois says, not seen a lot of Holland this season, but what I have seen does really well on the ball and very impressive. I think Holland's started well in this game as well. Really, really important out of possession. Here is Nagano. Good pick off. Liverpool, great opportunity now. Kapox shifts it to Bergstrom. Great chance now across the box. And she was looking for a run at the back post. Probably should have gone for goal there. And a great chance for Liverpool goes begging early in this game.
Yeah, again, another misplaced pass from London City, trying to play out of the back. It was Yana Fernandez with this one, gave it to Nagano, shifts it well into Kapox, who gets it one more to Bergstrom. And as you say, that felt more like a pass than a shot on goal.
I think Kapox, everyone needs to release that earlier.
Yeah.
Kapox should have played it earlier because Rodar puts that pressure on, and then it forces the pass to be tighter, and that gives Bergstrom a really difficult angle. There was no option for the cutback, for example. If she plays that earlier, Bergstrom can either go across the face of goal, take a shot, or take that cutback, and it would have given more options there. So, yeah, not bad though from Liverpool. It's really good from Nagano. Great pressure. Taylor frustrated they haven't taken advantage really of these early chances.
I was going to say, although his face doesn't look it, I think he'll be pretty pleased though with the start they've made in this game. It's a good reaction from the way they ended the year, and it's quite safe at the moment. It feels, but that's absolutely fine. They're doing exactly what they need to out of possession. They're not taking any silly risks in possession, and they're just settling into the game really nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. Bergstrom, I think more than a win, he wants a comfortable win.
Yeah.
A scrappy 1-0 win today does little to sort of... Yes, it's a huge win in the context of their season, but it does little to dispel the frustrations that around the Liverpool performances and results. But if they win today and it's comfortable, you start to think, well, maybe they've turned a new leaf. Maybe it was just the fact they didn't have the players that Taylor needed to make this work.
Yeah.
They are lacking a striker, because I think if Olsen was on the pitch, they probably would have scored.
Yeah,
in this opening passage. But yeah, they did go down as a big chance as well for Bergstrom that she poked wide of the far post.
But I think that Olsen not being available for this game just sums up Liverpool's season.
Yeah,
new year. They've brought in all these new additions. They've all their injured players in defence are back, and their best player this season's injured.
One of the only functional areas of the team.
Yeah,
isn't there? Here's Corrales driving it forwards. Chance now for London City. Ball into the area. Paris header. More of a clearance than an attempt on goal. Bizarrely headed back across goal by Holland. And then she's been caught in the head by Gayoro. I mean, that was a bit of a bizarre one because Holland's gone quite low there with the header, but she was caught in the head. It will be a free kick.
Yeah. Again, I thought initially really well dealt with by Fisk. Beat Paris in the air and just headed it up. I don't know why Holland then ran back in and headed it towards Corrales. But you say, was it a high? I think it is. Yeah, Holland ducks into it a little bit, but it is still high from goal.
It's a reasonable place to have your head. I think that's
Yeah.
the argument you could make there.
Especially in the penalty area because you are trying to clear the football. If that's in the middle of the pitch, she's been caught as well, which obviously makes it just a normal foul at the end of the day.
Here is Jenna Clark. Pass across now into Grace Fisk. She goes into McLean now, across to Nagano, back to McLean, who's now looking to play it in behind. That's the right ball, not the quite right execution. As Holland's pointing out there, you need to hit that in the channel rather than to feet.
Yeah. I think Liverpool will be happy with the start they've made.
Great pressure from Enderby there, forcing Lee out to the left-hand side. Does find Corrales well, though, and this is a good move now from London City. Aslani, though, will be forced backwards. Kumagai, now Rodar. Kumagai, back to Linari. And now Anna Lete. Out to Linari. It plays it forward, and that will run through to Nikita Paris. Brilliant from Fisk, though. Tracked her all the way and makes the decisive action.
Yeah, again, well done from Fisk. Her impact in this first 60 minutes just speaks volumes on everything we've been saying. But on London City, I think that this is playing out exactly how I thought they would look and how they kind of have looked this season. When they get the ball into attacking areas, they look pretty decent and they look like they could cause Liverpool problems. But it's when they've got it in their own third and they're trying to build out that those errors are creeping in and it's allowing Liverpool to have opportunities. But a pretty even start, really, which I think is kind of what we'd expect. I think these are two sides that on their day are pretty on par with each other.
Yeah. I have to say, I'm not a fan of London City's sponsor. Just writing everyone watches London City on the middle of their shirt. It's a bizarre choice.
Yeah, I know, because it's meant to be in partnership with the everyone
watches women's football. Yeah.
Yeah, but you think you just put the logo or put that actual message on there rather than change it to everyone watches London City.
Everyone watches us.
Yeah.
The only teams in the league that can do that are Chelsea at the moment, and next season, if they do win the league, it's Man City.
Yeah.
You can only have that sort of
you can't get promoted.
Rashness if you've won the league. Yeah. Here is Clark carrying it forwards. Plays out now to the right-hand side. Bergstrom. Back to Shimizu. Clark. Goes back now to a goalkeeper. And Liverpool again can look to build out now from this position. Jennifer Falk, lovely ball. Brilliant. Into Woodham, and it switches them from right to left. Woodham, though, delays too long and puts them under pressure. Fisk. McLean. Woodham. McLean. Tidy touch in there from the midfielder. Now they'll go back to the right-hand side, Liverpool, and probe once again. Clark carrying it forwards, and London City just dropping off, which is intriguing. Clark. They're going to play it in behind Corrales for the run of Bergstrom. Battling away, the two of them now. And Liverpool continue the ball, and that's really lucky because Corrales misjudges it, fouls the player, falls over and gets a free kick for it.
Yeah, it's not a foul. And I think that the fact that it was given so late tells you exactly that. The only reason this has been given is because Liverpool turned it over and would have an opportunity. That's not
That's
a foul.
so poor from the lineup. Corrales has grabbed her and fallen over because of it. Rodar. Linari. Side tries to flick it on. Clark there battles away well. Fisk. Pokes it into Kapox. Nagano. Looks right now for Bergstrom. Not quite got the angle she wants to play it out to the right winger. Agneta asking is Falk in the Liverpool goal. Yes, Falk does start. Woodham. Into Holland now.
It's a massive upgrade, isn't it, for Liverpool having Falk in net. It's no slight to Kirby. She hasn't been good enough this season, but I don't really blame her for that. She's a very young goalkeeper that was thrown into first team action and expected to deliver when that was never really going to be a reality.
Godfrey, that's brilliant work from Holland to get back in there, and she's then fouled by Fred Godfrey. Lloyd asks, is London City in the team name the same as City in London, the financial centre, with its own weird legal status? I don't think so. I think they get away with using London City. I don't think it's a trademark by the City of London. But yeah.
If it is, I'm sure Michelle Kingsbury bought it.
It's a weird name for a team because, on one hand, I think, you get the broad appeal of the entire capital.
Yeah.
But on the other, there's no area of London which resonates with, every club. It's like, oh, this is our borough, and everyone's from this area, and that's why we support the club. I think it's a little different in women's football. Obviously, with a global audience, that's not as relevant anymore. But London, just like being so broad, it makes it difficult, I think, for fans to connect to.
Yeah.
But by the same token, making it broad makes it easier for lots of different fans to connect to. So it just depends, but. Here's Godfrey. Fisk tries to see her out well, and that's really good stuff from Grace Fisk. Godfrey's frustrated. She thinks that should have been either a foul or a corner. I'm not sure what she's protesting there. That will be a goal kick.
And this is why Grace Fisk is so important as Liverpool side. It's why she's in the England setup.
It's a great call.
That's phenomenal defending. Yeah, it's a brilliant decision as well from the officials to spot that, because it did look like Fisk had kicked it off, but no, last touch was off Godfrey. But that is just superb defending. But it's also the value that players like Fisk add to the other like Jenna Clark looks a completely different player when she's got Shimizu on one side of her and Fisk on the other.
Yeah, she's able to step up. She's got that license to be quite aggressive as a defender. Enderby, great hold up there. Now into Shimizu, shifts it wide into Alice Bergstrom. Give and go now with Shimizu. Looks to receive it again. Good defending from Corrales, who drives it forwards now for London City. Misplaced pass from Aslani, though. Bergstrom tries to feed Enderby, but it's just played too quickly. I need to ask, which field players are in Liverpool squad today? You've got Kapox, number 7. You've got new signing Alice Bergstrom, number 25. And you've got goalkeeper Jennifer Falk. No Beta Olsen, who's their other Swede. She is injured. But this is much better from Liverpool.
Yeah, because even though there are bits that aren't working or potentially battles they're losing, but it still looks positive. I think Bergstrom's one of them. Although Corrales is at the moment probably getting the better of that little tussle between the two, Bergstrom still looks bright. She's getting on the ball. She's trying to make things happen. I think overall it's been really positive from Liverpool. But it's now about building on this. They've had quite a bit of the ball. They've looked positive for 22 minutes, but can they kick on now?
In behind, that's a great ball. Hond will try and get there. Lette out well, and does claim it.
Yeah, well read by the keeper, because Holland made a good run there.
I think that's one thing Liverpool are really lacking, though, especially without Olsen, is pace in that front line.
Yeah.
If they're trying to hit those channels, that's a poor pass. Godfrey can't keep it on. London City, I know they're learning a new system, and that's absolutely a valid reason why they're struggling at the moment, but it just feels like they're just getting pressed so aggressively by Liverpool, and they can't find the angles. They can't find a way to play through Liverpool consistently.
Yeah. I mean, Sangare, that's a 4th or 5th misplaced pass in this game.
Even players like Aslani, though. There's been a few from her. Shimizu. On the right-hand side, gives it into Bergstrom. Now looks to play it down the line to Kapox. Aslani tracks the run well. I like how close Liverpool are trying to get Kapox and Bergstrom, because if those two can link up, you do feel like that could be fruitful today. Sangare here, under pressure. Played into her own corner. Does try and chip it down the line. Gayoro will get there, but she's forced off by Nagano. That's brilliant from Fuka Nagano. The pressure just forcing Gayoro into the mistake.
Yeah, another top quality player that has done well to try and steady what has been a very rocky ship this year for season for Liverpool.
Well, Nagano deserves her flowers for the fact that her contract was up in the summer. She had an offer from Manchester United, it was reported.
Yeah.
Chose to stay loyal and renew her contract at Liverpool, which is fascinating. I guess you could argue that starting at Liverpool or being a rotation player at Manchester United, given we didn't expect Liverpool to be bottom of the league, it's probably more understandable. But the fact she stayed loyal to this club while we've seen a lot of players leave, a lot of the top players leave Liverpool, it's been interesting.
I mean, it probably comes down. I mean, if Gareth Taylor walked in there and said, "I'm going to make you my Yui Hasegawa," then that probably goes quite well with her. But yeah, I think credit to her, but especially again, we say it every week, but the fact that Nagano has still been consistently good when Liverpool haven't won a game yet in the league this season just speaks absolute volumes about how class of a player she is.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's Clark on the ball, plays it forwards into McLean, bounce back into Risa Shimizu. Now goes back to Falk. Agnator asking, what's the situation with Van der Donk? Is she a London City player? Is she injured? Yes, she plays for London City, has been reportedly injured throughout all of this campaign. But yeah, we haven't seen a feature yet for the club. It's one of those where you wonder if she will ever feature for the club. I think she's got a 2-year contract though. So there's still 18 months where it could happen. It was a weird signing. It only happened because Carpenter came to Chelsea.
Mm.
And so Van der Donk needed a club in London. And London City are happy to give, sort of experienced stars that opportunity. But Linari back now to goalkeeper Analete. Nigel asking about Denise O'Sullivan. No official signing yet for Liverpool. That would be a fantastic deal if they pull it off, and that should, they'd hope, be completed before their FA Cup game. That'd be a nice opportunity to bed her in.
Yeah.
Liverpool with a rather kind tie in the Women's FA Cup, London Bees, which could be quite important. Here comes Aslani, ball across the box, dealt with by Fisk, who knocks that out of play.
Yeah, that is quite a nice tie next week, but it's exactly what they need, because if they get a result today and then they win that FA Cup match, they start the new year with 2 wins from 2, and suddenly things look a lot brighter. And again, we're banding around names like O'Sullivan with them, and it shows that intent off the pitch as well is starting to become a reality for Liverpool. It all looks pretty positive, but they've got that starts with getting the result today and then looking to build forward with that one.
Yeah, Woodham deemed too aggressive on Godfrey. Actually, I think it's deemed fair on Godfrey there. It's out for a throw.
Yeah, I think Liverpool wanted the throw, which was probably a bit too much to ask.
Yeah.
Was it a throw? That was indecisive. I think it did.
I think it came off Woodham, but yeah, it's a great challenge. Nails it. And yeah, again, terrible angle.
I'll say I wondered why we were watching Holland run around for a bit, but
Corrales into Aslani, back to Saki Kumagai.
I have to say, and maybe a new manager, and I know obviously as you say they're learning a new system and getting to grips with it, but this does feel like the majority of London City games so far this season that they're playing okay. They're not quite in the game, but you feel like come the end of it, they could end up walking away with 3 points.
Holland out towards the left-hand side. Wants to take on Fernandez. What can she make happen here? Darts in, trying to lift it towards the back post. And that is not what we would have wanted there. Not what Liverpool would have wanted from Holland.
The one thing that's lacking in Liverpool's game right now is the one thing we said it was always going to be, and it's end product.
Yeah.
Without Olsen, and I think it's fair to say that the likes of Holland have been a little bit wayward, and that cross there was very far off the mark.
I think it's been decision making in the final third. I think it's been a lack of someone perhaps to aim for in the box. When you've got Olsen, there's a clear target. I'm not sure Enderby's the same. That's a brilliant pick off by Enderby there, who's brought down by Paris, and the referee with a big decision to make decides that was a clean challenge, and a poor pass again there from Fernandez this time. Brilliant pressure from Liverpool, but London City have been so poor in possession today. Yeah,
another misplaced pass, and it's something they've got to think about. But I think Paris got away with one there. The ball went long. The first header she headed back towards her own goal. She then headed it back towards her own goal again. And in the 50-50 of Enderby, I think she probably did that. Probably was a foul.
I think when you lose a manager who is giving you results, or you sack your manager who's giving you results, and you bring in a manager who you go, well, we want to play a possession-based style of play, so we're going to bring this guy in, he's going to do that. If that isn't clicking quite quickly, it's going to be a problem for London City.
Yeah.
And so far in this game, it's been the area of the game which has been so sloppy.
It's one of those where they've got plenty of time, and but because of the position they're now in the table, they're not going to get relegated. So you could argue they've got a lot of time, but like as you say, they will want it to click rather quickly.
If not, it's the media scrutiny, really. If
Yeah.
London City don't start playing a distinctively different brand of football and don't start winning more games, it's immediately going to go to, well, why do they sack Proyce?
Especially against the side who are currently sat bottom of the league.
Yeah.
Like West Ham and Rita Guarino get away with it today because, not get away with it, but obviously they played Chelsea, who are the reigning champions.
But the difference is as well, they sacked manager Marian Skinner where they were playing truly awful football and the squad isn't very good. But London City spent a lot of money in the summer, the highest of any club in the league, and they've sacked a manager who was getting results. So now there is pressure if they don't perform. And so far, the area of the game which Maestre has been brought in to make stronger is the area which has been the most poor.
Yeah.
Lovely turn there from Kerry Holland. Liverpool coming forwards again. Battles past Fernandez. Gayoro in support, though. Manages to bail her out. Still battling away here, Gayoro and Holland. And it comes away as a Liverpool ball. McLean back to Nagano. Here's Shimizu, who's almost inverting into like a midfield role today. Risa Shimizu. Fisk. Nagano. Fisk again. Looking now for the forward pass. Enderby drops to receive. That's brilliant from Mia Enderby. McLean now into Holland. Can Liverpool do something in the final third? Back to Woodham. Holland. Woodham makes the run on. That's going to give the cover for the ball in from Holland. Headed away by Sangare. And that's just behind the onrush of Liverpool attackers. Shimizu now high in support. Bergstrom. Back towards Shimizu. Lovely football. Back to Bergstrom in the box. Here come Liverpool. Can they find a goal? Blocked well by Linari, but a lovely passage of play there, moving from left to right for Liverpool, and lucky not to find a goal at the end of it.
Yeah, really good football. The ball in, and then flicked on by Sangare. And as you say, all three Liverpool players made the same run. So Sangare's headed clearance that wasn't brilliant, managed to miss all of them, but well recycled, and a Liverpool corner. Really good football from the home side, looking to put London City under a lot of pressure, and a corner here. London City's box defending hasn't been brilliant this season, and potentially an opportunity now for the Reds.
Especially on corners. They've been really poor, especially with giving away penalties more than conceding. Ball in towards the back post. Clark will get there up in the air. Fisk competes. Paris heads away, and Gayoro, the player on the edge, who will get there and clips it out of play. But it's not that far away, and Liverpool can reutilise this.
Yeah, again, positive for Liverpool. We saw Clark score a corner against Chelsea, and again, it was her who got on the end of it. But you just feel that the way that these two side seasons have unfolded, Liverpool want to take advantage of the fact they're on top right now. Because London City have a knack of grinding out results and getting results when they're up against it, and Liverpool have a knack of throwing away results when they actually look pretty good. So Liverpool will want to try and get at least a goal on the board while they are playing the better football.
I was saying some really nice passages, really nice pockets of play at the moment for Liverpool. It's whether that can now become their consistent baseline. Where they are combining tidily in wide areas. They just need, it's their end product as well, as you say.
Yeah.
Again, without Olsen today, there is definitely an excuse for them not finding the back of the net, but they need to have more outlets to goal, more routes to scoring. Holland unable there to beat Jana Fernandez, knocks it down the line. One high by McLean. Lovely turn from Holland. Kumagai gets back in there though and forces the mistake. Fernandez chipping that towards Godfrey. Holland gets back in there now. Kumagai clips it up the line. Fisk will get there though, knocks it out of play, chooses the safe option.
Yeah, as you say, we've seen some really good stuff in this 30 minutes. If Liverpool had played like this for the whole season, they would have more than a win. They would have a win at this point in the season. Yeah,
absolutely. I think Bergstrom already looks a strong addition as well, I have to say. But yeah, it's starting to come together for Liverpool, but they need a goal. 12 minutes left of this first half. Fernandez with the throw-in. McLean wins it back, battling away in there. Godfrey. Now Fernandez. That's a risky ball across the back line there. Hoofed in the air, and Corrales bails around, knocks it back to Analete.
Yeah, I think Fernandez got away with the fact that Bergstrom seemed to just misread it as it was flying through the air. And kind of ran past it, if anything.
Linari carries forward well. Gayoro now into Corrales. Rodar. Corrales. And it's back now to Wassa Sangare. Now here is Analete. Fernandez. Under pressure here from Holland. Lete under real pressure from Holland and gets away with it there. We saw it already in the game earlier today. King Agemic clearing it into Lauren Jones. It went in the net. This time, Lette clears it into Kerry Holland. And it just goes out of play. They got away with it. That's a really poor touch in that area from Lette.
Yep. That's either got to go first time, or as you say, the touch has got to be good, and then you've got to clear it. But it bobbled up and allowed Holland to close in. But another example of London City trying to play out and getting it wrong. And again, they've lost the ball here. Kapox, that's brilliant. Bergstrom cuts it back. Oh, good save.
Well, by Lette. And I think she's either ran that off herself or she was offside. Because it's been given as a London City free kick.
Yeah,
she was offside.
Must have been tight, to say that much.
I was going to say. Must have
been
room for it to be offside.
Yeah, London City were, 6-yard box.
Yeah. Lette sending it forwards. Paris gets the flick on. And Aslani can't keep it under control, poking it out of play. It's a Liverpool throw. So throw in now with Shimizu. Waits for an option to emerge. Goes back to Clark. Picks the safest one. Now Falk. Liverpool will just settle into their shape now. Here's Clark. Under a lot of pressure here from Paris. Does well to hold on to the ball. And Shimizu there wins a throw-in. And she just says to Clark there, calm down.
Yeah.
No, you don't need to hold on to it for that long. Yeah, Falk's not been tested yet, but has looked good with the ball at her feet, which is a big improvement.
Yeah, it's the range of passing as well. As she goes on again and messes it up. But it's the fact that she can get it, out, try and get Liverpool out of their half in that kind of position. Brilliant there from Nagano. Battles it off Gayoro, and that's another foul from Gayoro. Should be lucky that she's not received a yellow card yet, because that is at least her fourth foul of the game. Very surprising. And there's going to have a conversation. But I think a conversation after 4 is very fortunate. That conversation should have happened 2 fouls ago. That's 5 fouls committed, sorry, for Gayoro. I've missed one. Yeah. Again, as you say, that should be a yellow card by that point. The conversation will probably be the next one's a yellow, but... Yeah. Now there won't be a next one. Yeah. So you can get away with 5. Sangare, now Linari. And under no pressure there. Rodar and Enderby still just having a little bit of a scrap there, and the referee is going to go over and book Sangare. I have no idea. Yeah. What? Let's have a look. There's a bit of a push on Enderby. And she does pull her back, but Enderby then pushes her. I'm not sure on that one. I need to see. They need to let it play out. That's not a foul. That should then be. Pushes her. And then, well, okay, I'd like to see them. There's a Liverpool free kick. So it's been given for the pull from Sangare, which is, it's not really a foul, is it? No, it's not. The foul is Enderby pushing her. I thought the whistle had gone just to split Enderby and Rodar up as they're in a bit of a fight. But yeah, Enderby, I think that's a bit unlucky for Sangare, because there was a little bit of a pull, but as you say, Enderby then reacted by pushing her, and then her and Rodar got in a bit of a spat. Do you think that was Gayoro? Yeah, maybe. The only reasonable explanation I can see why she's booked. Yeah. That's really harsh. That's her first foul of the game. Gayoro's done 5 and gets a talking to. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, a bit unlucky for Sangare. I don't think it's a good game, but I don't think she's much wrong there. So, free kick now. And it's Holland. That's going to be Woodham that chips it up towards the back post. Not a great ball. Corrales heads it away. That's just too close proximity to do that. Yeah. You've either got to put it on the keeper or try some sort of routine. Holland. Now Fisk. Because if you're gonna get it onto someone's head, you're gonna have to float it, which the defence can read too easily. Yeah. You can't zip it in because it'll just go flying past everyone. And Elite under pressure does well. Knocks it out of play. Enderby actually looks sharp though. I know we mentioned her a bit silly with the push and a bit of the scuffle with Rodar, but I think, but it shows a bit of bite. I really do think that first goal for her against West Ham was kind of just, confidence is a massive thing when you're a footballer, and I just think that she looks a different player character wise.
It's a shame it came in the last WSL game week. It's a shame that we're not seeing her now on the left again, because I think that's where she looks more dangerous. Yeah, I think once Olsen's back, if you're looking at a front four of Enderby on the left-hand side and potentially rejuvenated Enderby, Kapok's playing that 10 role where she's looked really dangerous in recent weeks, Bertram on this right-hand side, and then obviously Olsen up front. That could look quite good. Gayoro, the one driving this London City attack now. Still carries it forward, Grace Gayoro. Now plays it in behind. Aslani makes the run off the shoulder. Fisk does enough though to block the cross away, and McLean on hand to hook it out of play.
Yeah, London City just sending a little warning there that they can still come forwards and try and hurt Liverpool. And the Reds can't get too comfortable, operating themselves in the London City half. So we're only 5 minutes away from the break. I think Liverpool would have fancied themselves to have got a goal the way they've played in the first 45 minutes.
And Alette Linari down the line. Perales. Lani back to Linari. It's functioning in possession the same as they were before London City, in the sense that you've got Godfrey holding the width on one side and the difference is Godfrey's holding the width, but on one side you've got Corrales, the fullback, on the width. On this side, what they've done instead is, rather than having Yana Fernandez push up and Kumagai in the back three, Yana Fernandez tucking in and Godfrey's holding the width. I think that is a better use of those profiles. I just think I'd play someone other than Saki Kumagai in there. But Kumagai's definitely looked better today than she has in any of the other recent games. But we could have seen Zellum, could have seen Maria Perez, who I think London City have forgotten is there, but she's on the bench today. London City throwing on this near side. It's Yana Fernandez now. Back to Linari. And here's Corrales. Looking to carry the ball forwards. And I guess the difference is, rather than Godfrey tucking in, you've got Gayoro supposed to be supporting the attack. And obviously Aslani from the left tucking into play in that half space, which I think is a better use of them. But we haven't really seen them play through the lines. We haven't really seen them get on the ball. Utilize the ball well. I mean, they've had a lot of possession in their own half, but Liverpool have had more of the ball, and Liverpool have been more productive with it. And London City's press is non-existent. Out of possession, it's just there's nothing there.
Yeah,
like they're making life difficult. They're making Liverpool have to play around them, but they're not doing much more than that. Whereas when you're looking the other way, Liverpool are forcing mistakes from London City, and they're turning the ball over half the pitch. It's a very different. But it's clear because you've got a manager who's been there 6 months, and a manager who's just got there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of the details are missing for London City. Nice, I've been waiting to see what London City would look like inverting her instead. Yeah, exactly. I think when you look at the profile of Yana Fernandez, it's quite clear she's a right back who's very good at tucking in. That's what she's good at. Don't know why they've been playing her as a wing back all season. That's Paul from Shimizu.
Yeah, that's a second foul throw we've seen today. We saw one from Baltimore for Chelsea. I mean, it's school. It's really silly. Like, it shouldn't be happening at this level. Foul throws. Any professional footballer should know how to take a throw in.
Absolutely. And Maestre sat down next to Becky Langley, who's the other appointment. She was announced this week, former Newcastle United women's manager, in now as their assistant. And to be stopped in her tracks by Corrales. Here's Kumagai. And Clark, physical, assertive on Paris, and Liverpool win at heart of the pitch. Here is McLean into Woodham, who was not expecting that pass to come back to her. Fisk carries it through the heart of the team now. McLean knocks it wide, and Holland just wasn't quick enough to react. And that's where Holland's got to be sharper, because Woodham's the one on the left who's holding the width. So you've got that license to get higher, to get into that pocket.
It looked like Holland had come to the byline to receive the ball, and then McLean looked to play it in.
Brilliant from Holland there.
In behind.
To roll off of Rodar. Shimizu into Bergstrom, who holds the width. Inside to Kapox. Wasn't expecting it there. Cornelia Kapox. Bergstrom has Shimizu in support. Can go alone here. Bergstrom, great drive inside. Kumagai does enough, though, just to shuffle her wide. And that will now, as Karanas kicks out of play, be as Liverpool throwing. Not much in the way of chances. Bergstrom with the best effort of the half. Neither side has tested the goalkeeper yet in this game.
Yeah, that is good point.
Bergstrom. Fisk. Clark will carry it forwards. Now needs a forward pass. Plays it into Bergstrom. In the wide space, blocked by Corrales again. Throwing on that far side. And that'll be dropped for Shimizu. Only a minute of additional time, which I think speaks volumes about the action we've seen in this first half. If anything, that's kind. Corrales battling over Kapox. Kapox can't keep it in, and that'll be a goal kick. And that'll probably be it for the first half once this goal kick's actually taken.
Yeah. I mean, it shows both sides have got on with it, but as you say, we haven't had any, clear-cut chances. We haven't had too much going on. Both sides will be... I think Liverpool will probably be happy with the two, but yeah, it's one of those where 1 minute, I think, is a good... Added time is always a good representation nowadays of how a half of football has gone.
Absolutely, ball lifted over the top now for London City, looking for Gayoro. Woodham just knocks it wide. 46th minute now, where London City will be given the liberty of this attack. Aslani. Gayoro goes backwards. Now they're taking a bit of a liberty. Kumagai into the box. Clark heads it away. And you think that'll be it for the first half. Godfrey header inside. Rodar keeping the move alive. Referee happy to play on. Aslani. Now to Corrales. Ball across the box. Shimizu clears it out for a corner. And they won't be allowed to take that corner because that is the half-time whistle. Liverpool 0. London City Lionesses 0. A first half where we're seeing much better patterns from Liverpool. We're seeing much better performances from Liverpool. But they haven't made that count as it stands. It's Liverpool 0, London City 0.
Yeah, as you say, good 45 minutes from Liverpool. Tightly contested. Neither side really causing too many problems for the other. But Liverpool definitely looking the more positive. But yeah, definitely still a lot to be decided. And still could go either way. London City, teething issues you feel under new manager Eder Maestre, but they're the kind of things that probably won't be addressed in 15 minutes at half time. But yeah, Liverpool will fancy themselves, but 45 minutes yet to have a shot on target. It's hardly been one for the neutral so far.
No, I mean I find it interesting. I don't know how to gauge whether football games are boring anymore because I find them all interesting. Even games where there aren't any goals, I'm fascinated by structures and what the two teams are trying to do. So I find it difficult to gauge how the neutrals feel. But I think it's not been a first half with a lot of goal mouth action. Not really been much feistiness. There's been a lot of silly fouls where a lot of holding each other and a little bit of frustration, I think, being taken out on the opposition. But we've not really seen anything too egregious. Just lots of shirt pulling, lots of tugging on each other. I think it's a first half where Liverpool is showing tactical ideology, which London City aren't really yet.
Yeah.
And that's something that's obviously been worked on throughout the season. We're starting to see something click now for Liverpool. We're seeing patterns of play emerging. We're seeing combinations, especially in those wide areas now. There's a clear idea of what they want to do with the ball. It's just about execution now for Liverpool. It's not really coming to much. And I think a lot of it is that getting into the final third, decision making has been a little bit poor. They've not really got anyone to aim for in the box. The movement from Enderby isn't what you'd expect from a striker, because she's not one, and that is a fair criticism of Enderby's first half. But also, she's not a striker. Her movement isn't expected to be at the level of an Olsen or someone like that. So that's really let Liverpool down. Outside of that, they've got the ball into really good areas quite well. Really impressed with Alice Bergstrom. I think she's got a clear want and desire to just take players on. I think that's really important. I think she's missing that explosiveness that you need to really be that sort of um, elite level winger because she's not just bursting past people. Corrales is sticking with her. Now it's difficult to gauge as well because Corrales is a very quick player, but you just there's that little final touch missing, that final burst, final bit of magic that's missing at the moment. We'll have a look through some of those chances for Liverpool in the first half. The best chance of the game coming from Alex Bertrand, but this early opportunity for Holland probably could have been a little more selfless in that one.
Yeah, it was. She did everything right initially, but as soon as she got into that penalty area, had Sangare in front of her with options to her right hand side, and just seemed to pull the trigger at what felt like the wrong moment. In order for that ball to go in the net, Sangare would have had to been move out of the way, so it was never really going to go in. And yeah, there were passing opportunities to her right hand side. So probably just the wrong decision there, and I think the wrong decisions have been the story of that first half for Liverpool in attacking areas. But yeah, I thought Holland has looked sharp, but once she gets to the penalty area, it just seems to be that final ball just seems to be lacking.
I don't know if sharp's the right word. I'd say lively. I'd say she's been involved in a lot of Kerry Holland, but I'd say she's actually missing that sharpness. It's that little bit of refinement that she's just missing in there. Best chance of the game for Alex Bergstrom, though, and she's been excellent throughout this first half. Kapox should have played that ball sooner, though, and that probably is what left the shot then lacking a bit.
Yeah, again, really good move. Nagano picked off the pass, and Kapox makes a tiny run, but that extra touch allowed allowed pressure to come on to Kapox, and Bergstrom was then forced wide from the corresponding pass, and maybe from a less tight angle she would have realised that the shooting opportunity was on. I still think she should have gone for goal herself instead to try to pass it across the face of goal, but I think that because it was such a tight angle, she didn't really realise the position she was in, and probably it's the kind of one you just want to blast at the near post and put test the goalkeeper to pull off a good save. But yeah, Bergstrom has looked really tidy, got into the right areas, and played some really good football, and has had a great tussle on that right hand side with Corrales, and I'll be intrigued to see how that plays out in the second 45.
Yeah, the only two times that she got clear of her were a good ball across the box that was then flagged offside, and that shot which almost went in. So yeah, I think she's done really well, Alex Bergstrom, to get in behind in that space, to take Corrales on as well. I think she's done really well. Clearly, exactly what Liverpool want from that right winger, someone who can hold the width, someone that can go either way, someone that wants to take players on. It's what they want from that wide right position. Last one to the streams is London City looking awful today. They could be in trouble if Liverpool figure out where the penalty box is. Yeah, I think that's very true. I think to touch on London City, build-up has been really poor. There's been a lot of sloppy mistakes. I think distances between players are just too big, and we're not really seeing those combination plays. We're not really seeing them progress the ball with any sort of consistency. A lot of it is sort of this, like they're getting away down the left-hand side quite well, but a lot of that has come from either a bit of individuality from Aslani or Corrales or Gayoro just bursting down the left-hand side. We've not really seen them sort of have a consistent way to build up and not really creating space on the left. It's more that they're able to capitalise when Shimizu's caught out, because Shimizu is everywhere at the moment for Liverpool. She's been inverting, which is something we haven't seen at all, which is really a really fun idea, because it gives McLean a little bit more licence to go forward, and then they've got this sort of the two centre-backs and then Nagano and Shimizu, and that's allowing them to recycle the ball a little bit better, Liverpool. But it does leave them a little bit exposed, and we've seen that at times with London City able to break down the left-hand side, but short of that, they've just not been able to play out.
Yeah, no, they have really struggled, and I think we mentioned it a few times there that in their own third they've looked really, really poor. Once the ball does get up there, whether it's through their own fault or a Liverpool error or something, once the ball is into that Liverpool half, they've looked slightly better. Paris has got involved a bit, but on the whole, it has been, as you say, really sloppy. Just again, misplaced passes across the board from numerous players. It's not just one player who's really struggling with the ball at her feet. It's numerous players in that back line who have put wayward passes, and whether that's that could be giving up possession, that could be putting out for a throw. And I think that has got to be shortened up, because at some point, someone like a Sangare or Fernandez is going to end up passing it straight through to Liverpool and put them through on goal. Sangare nearly did it in that first half, and luckily Lete managed to get there before Enderby did. But yeah, it's one of those where I think that as you say, currently they're getting away with it because Liverpool, when they're giving the ball away to Liverpool, Liverpool are still 25 yards away from goal, and then they've got to do something with it. But if they start giving it away in more dangerous areas, then you'd like to think Liverpool would finally work out where the goal is and might put the ball in it. But yeah, it's I think London City are getting away with the fact they're playing, Liverpool at the moment. And if someone like a Bater Olsen was on the pitch, then maybe this would be a very different,
even just a natural striker. Because as much as I think Kiernan can struggle at times, and Howe has not really maintained any fitness for the last 2 years, he's still a good level forward. As much as they haven't really had prolificacy from them, and obviously Olsen is another level, but just a number 9 whose movement is stronger, who has a bit of aerial threat, who has a bit more box presence. That for me would make the difference at the moment, but they are lacking that with Enderby. I think Enderby's done well. I think her movement's been okay, but she's not really physical enough. Her hold up's not great. I think she's often, you want a striker who can sort of ride that initial contact and then look to shift it because you've drawn the player out then. But the problem is if the player makes contact with Enderby, she's just getting shrugged off it too easily, and that's happened quite a lot with Sangare especially. So yeah, I think it's been interesting to watch what London City are trying to do building out, but I think they're struggling. I think Liverpool have been much more impressive side. I think they're especially their high phase possession play, looking to try and create stuff, has been really impressive. I think they've progressed through the pitch really nicely, but London City are dropping off, which has been a little bizarre. You'd think a side who are trying to play the way they are would be perhaps a little bit more active in the press, but it's very passive. They're just looking to drop off. And that is giving Liverpool the space to sort of progress the ball. It's then when they get into the box, London City are very compact at the moment, which is a good part of what they're doing at the moment. London City is very defensively compact and very tight. And that's not really giving Liverpool the space to find players in the right sort of positions. What they've got to do is use the width better, find players in the pockets, create chances in the area for certain individuals, and it will come. They've had chances. They've been a little few and far between them. They can have a little bit more consistency. And London City have been sloppy to start. You'd think as they tire in this game, it's only going to get worse. So Liverpool just got to keep going at it and hope that goal comes, I think.
Yeah, exactly that. I think it's one of those where they have got players who are capable of putting the ball in the back of the net. It's just whether they can do that at the right opportunity. And of course, they won't be thinking about the table right now, but what an opportunity this is. If they draw today, they go a point behind West Ham and only 4 points behind Leicester in ninth. If they can win this game, they'll get off the bottom of the table for the first time this season, and they'll only be 2 points off Leicester, sitting in that ninth position. And suddenly, what looked like a terrible start, being winless and being bottom of the league, 45 minutes here could put them into 11th, and put them joint 10th and only 2 points off ninth, and suddenly that reads so much better for Liverpool. So there's a massive opportunity for Gareth Taylor and his side in this second 45 minutes to really boost their season coming into the new year. But they've got to make sure it isn't the same story. How many times have we seen this situation for both these teams? London City not at the races, but they nick a result, and Liverpool playing well but can't get it across the line. Liverpool got to make sure that does not happen today. For London City, they know that they'll know they need to improve in the second half. But yeah, you just feel this is a huge opportunity for Liverpool to get off the bottom of the league and to have their name banded around positively for the first time this season.
Yeah, absolutely. GT asks, will you guys make another transfer video? We'll make lots of videos on transfer over the next few weeks. If you're referring to the transfer show, that will be live on Tuesday this week. We've been doing that Monday the last 2 weeks, but with the weekend roundup back tomorrow, the transfer show will now be on Tuesday, so look out for that. It means we're live every day this week, apart from Wednesday and Saturday, I think. So we've got a nice little run of live shows coming up, and then we've got things like League Cup coming up and FIFA Champions Cup, which is the competition we're all excited for. So lots coming up over the next few weeks in terms of live shows. But yes, we'll have a lot of transfer content. If any big signings happen, we'll probably have a video looking at how they fit into the side. There may be a Sam Coffey video in the next few weeks as well, because that seems like that is all but done now. And yeah, also, if there are any big transfers, we'll wait for those. But we will be keeping the transfer show. That'll be Tuesday this week because of the weekend roundup. It'll be back to Monday the week after, and then I can't remember how it works, but it'll be either Monday or Tuesday every week until we get to deadline day, which is a Wednesday, I believe.
Yes.
So yeah, look out for the transfer shows over the next few weeks. That will be Tuesday this week. Alex says, Amatissiak to Union Berlin, big blow for West Ham. Has that just happened then? It would explain why she's not in the squad today. but we will save that for Tuesday. In terms of this game, what do either side do in the second half? How do they change this game? How do they turn it in their favour?
Well, unless Liverpool can magically buy a number 9 at half time.
Register it and put it in the matchday squad.
Yeah, with Howard and Keenan are both still out, aren't they? So neither of them on the bench. So, yeah, I think they've got to keep plugging away at it. As I say, if an opportunity falls, Enderby's obviously has got that first goal. If an opportunity falls to someone like a Capox or a Bergstrom, then we know they've got the quality to take it. So for Liverpool, they've got to keep plugging away and taking advantage and hope they can take advantage of a London City error or play their way through the team and score a wonderful goal. For London City, got to be much safer, got to be better on the ball, and you feel that if they start getting it right defensively, I don't think there's too much going wrong once they get the ball up the pitch. It's just they just can't seem to get it there at the moment. If London City can be a lot more secure on the ball and are much better at working their way through the team, then I think they'll cause Liverpool a lot more problems in the second half and look to test Falk on her debut. But yeah, if the second half plays out similar to the first, then I would expect Liverpool to win this game. But that is so easy to say in the WSL, and it's to turn out so different. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what we see in these second 45 minutes. But Liverpool should really fancy themselves to get their first win in the league and look to really kick on.
Yeah, I think keeping it going as it is for now, keeping the structure as it is for now, I think will work. If it gets that last 15 minutes, you still haven't found a goal, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw someone like Capox lead the line and you just try and see what upside you get from that. Because you've got to try something else if you get to that sort of passage of the game. I don't really see who comes off the bench and goes up front. They don't have anyone really. I don't think Gemma Bonner is going to sub in as a striker. So I think, if you want to swap it around, put someone like Capox up front, try and get her in the final third, in front of goal, make something happen. But I think let's keep it as it is for now and see what Capox can make happen from that 10 role. Bergstrom's look really sharp on the right hand side. They just need that final ball. Once that comes, I think Liverpool will find their route to goal, and they've got to keep the defensive work, especially the out possession structure, keep it as solid as it has been, because London City have nothing to work with in this game. Liverpool press them really well, and they can't afford to drop off. Even though I know they can't make they can't make any subs in the front line, but they've got to keep working hard in the front line to press London City, and they can't let them start to play through them any easier. Lloyd says 10,000 subs to you guys by the end of the season. That is the goal, Lloyd. If you are new to this channel and haven't yet hit subscribe, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've already we're up to 7.2k today. Thank you guys very much for that. Considering we hit 7,000 on New Year's Eve, so that's 200 already gained in 2026. So let's keep that going. If you are new and haven't hit subscribe, make sure to do so. But and Lloyd also says make sure to give them an upvote, people. Yes, make sure to leave a like if you haven't already. But we are about to get back underway for the second half.
Yeah, moment of magic is going to decide this kind of game. Two sides that really want
a mistake.
Or a mistake.
Both these sides have made a lot of defensive mistakes this season. It does feel like that could be what it comes down to.
And neither side have many moments of magic, but let's see.
Indeed. So it's Nikita Paris to get us back underway. London City with the kickoff. Paris waits for the referee's whistle and now knocks it back. And we're back underway here on Merseyside. Liverpool taking on London City Lionesses. The score tied 0-0 at half time. Can either side find a breakthrough, break the deadlock? Can Liverpool claim their first win of the season? Can London City get off to winning ways under Eder Maestre? Here is Sangare. Looking for that ball in behind. That's going to run through into Clark. And Liverpool now can look to play out from Falk onto the right-hand side. Here's Shimizu. Trying to find their Bergstrom out wide. But it's gone out of play for a London City throw-in. Corrales. Looking for the option. Plays inside to Rodar. Not a great pass. Enderby tries to knock it past Linari. And now it's with Sangare. Back to Linari. Wants to clip it forward. Headed down by Clark. Nagano. Into McLean, who's been held back there, and the referee is slow to react, but does make the right decision.
Yeah, Kaihura is risking your luck with that. Well, you can't react like that. You already committed 5,000.
Here is Fisk now. Liverpool coming forwards. Wanting to carry this ball forward. Great drive, actually, from Fisk. Clips it through, looking for Parks. And that's unlucky. That's the right idea, though. And actually, no one went to press Fisk. They all focused on who they're supposed to be marking. No one got out to close down Grace Fisk.
Again.
Right idea could have been the difference.
Oh, yeah, perfectly. Definitely the right thing to do. Just that final ball is still lacking, although that it's exactly what it needed to happen. If that's on the money, though, you'd back someone like Kapox to put the ball in the back of the net from there.
Corrales, now Rodar. Brilliant work in there from Kapox. Here's Bergstrom. Plays inside to Nagano, who can look to spread it wide now to the left-hand side. Woodham. Touched on to Holland. Going to be forced back there, Kerry Holland, with no room down the touchline. Here's Clark. Under pressure from Gayoro. And Shimizu, the safe option, going back to Jennifer Falk. Plays it inside. Nagano. Back to Falk. It's to lift it out towards the left-hand side. Header won by Godfrey. They've started to clock on to Falk, looking to pin those fullbacks on the touchline.
Yeah. There's a couple in now of those long balls that were intercepted. But as you say, London City are trying to start to realise that now, and Falk's going to have to rethink that one.
But if they are going to be out there, it's going to draw space somewhere else,
Yeah.
either in central areas or deeper areas. The problem is they don't really have an option to go long into. Shimizu tries to play inside. Kumagai intercepts. Back now to Corrales, who Bergstrom will press. Back now into Analete. Linari goes into Gayoro. And wants to play forwards. Paris heads down. Now trying to touch it onto Godfrey. That's behind Freya Godfrey, though. And that will force the London City play backwards. Here is Sangare. Gets away with that one. Kumagai now. Sangare red card will change this game as well. Corrales.
Yeah.
She was very unlucky to get her first yellow, but does feel like she could just catch someone, and that would be another yellow. Aslani, ball in. Headed away. And now Fisk wants to carry it forwards. Accidentally runs it into Holland, though. Bit of a miscommunication between the two. Fernandez, heart of the pitch, wins it back. The cut back is poor, though. And Nagano now can carry it out for Liverpool. Holland. Chopping back inside with no options on. Back to Fisk. Into Falk, who just quite smartly plays it forward into Enderby, choosing the safe option.
Liverpool need to get going again in this game. So a couple of errors just creep in these last few minutes. They want to get back to what they're doing in the first half and not let that standard slip away.
Sharondale says, do you think Lete will be London City number one for a significant amount of time, or do you think they'll recruit a new goalkeeper in the next 2 years? I've got no idea if this London City team will still be here next season. I think it could be a completely different set of 25 players. So I'm not sure. I think if there was the opportunity to sign Mary Ups, I wouldn't be surprised if they did it, which I think there will be that opportunity in the summer. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I think if she is looking for a return to the WSL, I don't see where else she goes.
Yeah.
I don't think any other team right now needs a goalkeeper and would want to spend or could spend the amount of money that Mary Ups would be wanting. I think London City are the perfect mix of needing her or wanting her at least, and being able to afford her.
Yeah.
Because none of the top sides would want her, and none of the lower sides can afford her. Fernandez. Sangare now. Here is Linari. I think that's what's been found for most of the players in this squad. It's players that, yeah, of course, as individuals, every team below them would want them, but they cost too much money. But no team in the top 6, no team in the top 4, possibly even Tottenham, take a lot of these players.
Yeah.
Linari. Headed away well by Clark. He was fouled in there by Paris. And you just feel as London City are starting to disrupt Liverpool, not through being able to be shocked, but just by fouling them a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which is what they were doing anyway in the first half. It just feels more pertinent in the first 6 minutes of this half.
Yeah, Liverpool don't seem to have settled in the second half yet or got into their rhythm.
Clark trying to lift out towards the left-hand side. Complete miscommunication, really, there between Holland and Woodham. Wasn't a good pass, but Woodham should have pushed up onto that, or Holland ran back. They both thought the other was going to do it.
Yeah.
Shouter says, for their fan base growth, would be a big signing. Yeah, true. It would definitely attract fans. Linari. The problem is I don't know if it attracts the fans that are going to stay. I think it does well to bring in Lionesses fans who want to watch some Lionesses, because you'd have Paris, Godfrey, Mary Earps, but and Katie Zellum possibly, if she actually plays, and if you count her as a Lioness. But I think it's difficult, because do those fans come in the thick and thin to watch them play a League Cup group stage game when none of those stars are playing?
Yeah.
Do they show up to watch them face Liverpool and West Ham at home? Arguably not, but they show up for the big games. I don't know if that's the fan base London City desperately need. I think it's difficult to build a fan base at the level they're at, but there's definitely an appeal to a team who have a broad catchment area and no attachment to a men's team. There's definitely people that would be attracted to that kind of team, but yeah, Corrales. Now forced back to Linari. Sangare. And that's poor from Kuma. Guy just passes it to McLean, and Liverpool now will look to make something happen here. Sharp movement into Bergstrom now in the box. Can she take aim? Lifts it towards goal, and that's just wide. Wow. Not bad at all from Alice Bergstrom, just trying to lift it into that far corner, and it's just wide. Right idea from Bergstrom. Unlucky that's not in.
Best chance of the game for any side. And just looks to lift it almost like a cross again, but I think it's just the way she takes the effort on, looks to just lift it into the top corner. She
wants to lift it over Leap, but also into that far corner, but yeah, unlucky. Clark carries it forwards. Liverpool probing. Best chance or closest chance to the game there. Here's Woodham. McLean plays it into Enderby. Lays it to Kapox. Back towards Enderby. Sangare does well to get back in there under pressure and just knocks it out of play. And smashes a mic in the process.
That was a weird decision. Just to get running sideways and just trying to boot it directly off the pitch.
Yeah.
Not even like kick it 10 yards up the pitch. But again, Liverpool probing. London City have done well to kind of work their way back into the game in the second half, but Liverpool there showing that they've got the quality, and they are again having the better chances, but still not a shot on target for either side.
Ball down the line. Here is Grace Gayoro. Will be forced backwards by Nagano. And now Kumagai. Aslani holds on to it nicely. Here's Saki Kumagai looking to spread the play wide. Now Corrales wants to take on Shimizu. And that's blocked well by Shimizu, and that's out for a corner.
Well defended by Shimizu. And that's the risk when Clark steps up and doesn't get that. Does leave you a player short.
Nigel letting us know the only game in the Championship is Nottingham Forest 1, Bristol City 4. Jessica Gale came on in the 77 minutes, scores her first goal 6 minutes later.
I was going to say.
Continuing her goal scoring form after leaving Portsmouth.
Has Robinson got on as well?
Robinson's start of the game was then subbed off on 66 minutes.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. I think it shows they're backing themselves for promotion.
Ball in, and that header looked more like a clearance from Sangare, and she's gone down there with a head injury, and so that will be a stoppage to the game. But yeah, I mean, any team with Sophie Ingle, Katie Robinson, a striker like Jess Gale, is now 4-2 for us of mounting a comeback with 5 minutes to go.
Bit smart. They waited until January. They've sat third. They'll back themselves to try and jump Birmingham and maybe chase down Charlton. So they might as well put the money in and invest, because they've got a very good opportunity to come straight back up. Well, not straight back up, but coming back up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it still needs a lot. The problem for me will be, will they be able to invest in the division above?
Yeah.
because, yeah, Robinson's a huge signing, but I think Ingle would struggle even in the division above. I think most of their starting 11s, they need to put a lot of money in.
Mm.
And I mean, the last time Bristol City were in the WSL, we didn't see that level of investment. So, be interesting to see what they manage to do. But I think Robinson's certainly a point in the right direction.
Yeah.
I think Birmingham are the side that if they come up will be able to invest a lot. We know their owners have the money, and if they're in the WSL, you'd think suddenly they might take a little bit more interest. I mean, Asoto Miyagawa is a ridiculously good signing coming in from Hammarby. So, yeah. Sharon has thoughts on Hayley Ladd to Crystal Palace. It's okay. She didn't get any game time at Everton. I think she'll be really important for Palace. Palace are starting to come back to life.
Yeah.
Slow start to the campaign, but they are now up to 6th in the league. And yeah, they've got players in that squad, as the fact that they were in the WSL last season, that should be more than good enough for this level. So yeah, I think we'll see. I think we'll see Palace start to do a little bit better, but whether or not they can get to the playoff spot now, that third place remains to be seen. I think that's probably going to be quite difficult with the teams above them in the league. Newcastle 4th as well. Now they're keen to get into the WSL. Ball into the box, that's cleared away. There's a few Newcastle players that would likely leave if they don't make that jump up.
Oh, that's another error.
Enderby. Now McLean. Looking to find Shimizu, that's overhit. Liverpool failed to really capitalise on that mistake.
Holland did so well to block the clearance and it fell to Enderby. And as you say, would have expected Liverpool to do more with that opportunity, but they've won it back half the pitch again.
Nagano. Holland. Nagano. Now into the overlapping run of Woodham. Holland wants to create the space for the cross. Godfrey does enough, though, to block that attempt. Clark. Fisk goes back to Falk. And this is what Falk gives you.
Yeah.
Able to play that sort of role, that high up the pitch. You couldn't imagine that with any of the goalkeepers they had in the first half of the season. Sharon does ask, how has Jennifer Falk's debut been? She looked brilliant. She hasn't needed to make a save yet. So it's difficult to judge her on that, but brilliant passing. 94% accuracy with passes. 75% on long balls is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know they're not going long, like straight and direct, but still, that's been ridiculously good. And yeah, I don't know what else she could have done today. She hasn't had a chance to make any saves. Liverpool preparing for a change here. So Parry coming on. That will change the dynamic of that right back position. But it makes sense, obviously, with Shimizu just back from injury. And we know she's been constantly struggling to recover from that ACL injury she picked up last season. Sangare will be forced back here by the press. Brilliant press of Holland. And Sangare is just getting drawn into her own corner here. And Holland wins it back. Sangare battles to retrieve it. And then just knocks it out of play. Liverpool throw. Woodham. Into Nagano. Woodham. They're going to be forced backwards now.
Yeah. That was good urgency from Woodham, but then end up just getting forced backwards. I think Liverpool, half an hour to go. I mean, I'd like to see a sign of a shot on target, personally. That would be nice. But Liverpool just starting to probe a little more now. And again, back to where we were in the first half, I feel, when Liverpool were just swinging into the ascendancy.
So, Woodham now with this throw-in. Sophia asks, is OJF leaving Chelsea confirmed? Not confirmed yet, but it's strongly expected to happen. Aston Villa have agreed a deal with Chelsea for £450,000. We're just waiting for the announcement now. So it would only be if she failed the medical or something along those lines that would mean she wouldn't join. But yeah, deal all but confirmed now. I think it's a win for all parties, personally. Again, we'll discuss it more on the transfer show, but seems a good deal. G says, do you guys think if Van der Donk comes back, it will help the midfield issues? Not really, to be honest. Change here for Liverpool is Shimizu off, Parry on, which will give them a bit different dynamic from that right back. I don't think we'll see her inverting, but we could see her overlapping a little bit more.
Yeah.
Woodham here with this free kick. But I don't know if creativity is the problem for London City. It's progression. I think they should give Perez more minutes in defensive midfield over Kumagai. I think that's a poor header there. Let's try and keep the move alive.
Yeah.
Here it is. Corrales starts inside. Plays it now to Fernandez. Ball now into the area. Great block from Fisk. And that's cleared away by Woodham. One back in midfield by Kumagai. Played into Aslani. Touch around the corner into Gayoro, who keeps the move alive. Kumagai now. Into Corrales. Rodar. Now Corrales. Stefan says Fatwin had made a lot of second and third assists for 4 goals for BK Haken. Important player for their counter-attacks. Yeah, I mean, once you bring Olsen in, it suddenly, it suddenly makes them look a great team on counter-attacks. So they could be strong. I think a change coming here for London City. It is Goodwin. And I think it's Maria Perez. He's listening.
Yes. It's happening. That's Paris's game done then. Didn't really manage to get involved. And then, the exact change you said should happen.
Bloody hell. Goodwin coming on is interesting. I think Goodwin gives you a bit more presence than Paris in the air, which is a bit more physical than Nikita Paris. Nikita Paris is deceptively physical, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I think Goodwin gives you more presence, more aerial threat as well. And Perez, I just think, will help them move the ball forwards a little bit better. And I've said the same thing. Why can't they just give Perez a game? Well, there we go. They will now. Eder Maestre is listening in. Nice says London City might be the most fraudulent six-place side we've been sitting a good bit, honestly. We've been saying this since match week 1, and people have been getting annoyed consistently. But London City's performances don't merit their place in the table.
That's why Boyce was sacked at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So even the club agree with what we've been saying. That's another poor pass, and Gapox is just about stopped there.
Expected points table has had them 8th in the league. That's only above the 4 teams that are sort of in the relegation battle.
And that probably is where they should be sat.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think come the end of the season, especially now they have changed manager, I think come the end of the season they probably will end up in that 8th position.
Fisk. Nagano. Back to Fisk. Yeah, I think there's a lot of really talented footballers in that in the sides like around Brighton and Villa and stuff. I think they'll jump London City. I think Tottenham are already very clear of that battle now. They're competing for Europe, which is insane. But I don't think it's impossible they pull it off at this rate. Great win in there from Godfrey, who can pick out with the pass. It's blocked by Fisk. It comes back off Godfrey. She's frustrated, Freya Godfrey. She's not had the room to work with today.
No.
Fisk has got across there and dealt with her really well. And it's because, obviously, with Woodham pushing up, she first comes across, and Fisk has been able to be wider so she can deal with Godfrey once the rest of defence accommodate for Fisk being wider.
Yeah.
And she's not been able to beat her 1v1 at all. Corrales there as well to shield that ball back from Bergstrom, and it bounces into Linari's possession. Needs to play the pass quickly under pressure from Kapox, and that's launched long, and Parry will try and see this out, but I think it'll be difficult. And ends up having to knock it out for a corner. It's deemed a foul, though, I think, from Kosovares Lions. She's deemed offside.
Not sure about that one, but either way. Anyway, you get the feeling, you really do, that this 25 minutes is absolutely massive for these two sides. More so for Liverpool. I spoke about at half-time, the opportunity this presents, and I don't think they've really kicked on so far in this second half in the way they'd wanted to. We still haven't had a shot on target, have we? 65 minutes played.
No, none of the goalkeeper has had a difficult afternoon just yet.
Wow.
And we have not seen a shot on target in this match.
Yeah. That is quite something.
Fisk. Woodham. Goes back now into Jennifer Falk. Clark into Kapox. Turns Linari. Linari's fouled her all the way there, and Kapox just shrugs it off. Brilliant drive, and another foul from Linari, and that will finally be pulled up as a free kick. Just started fouling her as soon as she was turning, and didn't stop fouling her until she was on the floor in the opposite into the London City half, and Linari will rightfully be booked for that.
Yeah, understandably so.
And London City now have two of both their centre halves on a yellow card.
Something Liverpool
That
got
is
to try and take advantage of.
exactly. That's asking for a red.
Yeah.
Because Kapox can do that now, and Linari can't pull her back.
Yeah. Double dose. Pulled her back, advantage was played, and then just took her out. Easy yellow card. You'll see.
McLean tries to play it around the corner. It falls to Nagano, who feeds it into Kapox. Kapox tries to play it through the lines. Can't quite pull off the pass. Nagano. They're just trying to force it in some areas now, Liverpool. And you get it. You know, they want this goal. They've played some decent football today. Out of the two sides, they probably deserve to win it more. Chops onto a right foot now. Holland in towards the back post. Headed away by Corrales. Here's Parry to keep the move alive. Puts it in there. Head away by Linari. Gaioro now up against Bergstrom. Clark. In towards Parry. Corrales narrows the angle. Ball in from Parry. She tried to lift it towards Bergstrom. Didn't really work out.
Not the right decision there. But again, encouragement coming from Taylor, because he knows his side have looked better today.
They're on the brink here of when it's within their grasp. There's 22 minutes to play. There's still a while. But the problem is Liverpool don't really have any off the bench to change this game.
Although they haven't really threatened in front of goal at all, this does feel like their best opportunity. Because like even in the Chelsea and Brighton games where they did...
Enderby, good, hold up. Now McLean just loses out in there, and London City will look to break away. Perez. Here's Aslani. Trying to feed Goodwin in behind. Clark recovers well. And Liverpool now can settle on the ball. Tidy there between Nagano and Kapox. And that just takes a couple of players out of the equation. They're playing for the press with ease, Liverpool. Woodham. Wide into Holland. Wants to take on Fernandez here. Love this from Holland. Great drive. Now needs support. Jostling for possession with Fernandez. Inside from Woodham. Nagano now. Space for the shot. Opens it up to the right-hand side. Bergstrom now against Corrales. Chops in onto a left foot. The shot is weak. Linari deflects it out for a corner.
Not the effort Bergstrom was looking for, but still wins a corner. Better from Liverpool. Brilliant football. And Holland on the far side there has got Yana Fernandez with her hands on her knees trying to recover, because that was brilliant on the left-hand side. Shift it across to the right-hand side, and Bergstrom, although shot was tame.
Very, very one-footed.
Yeah.
Alice Bergstrom. You wonder if she could have just Trevellaed it on that right foot if she's so dependent on it.
Liverpool really starting to knock on the door.
Indeed. Wooden over this. Can a set piece be Liverpool's route to a goal? In towards the goalkeeper. Lesse does well there, pushes it down and jumps on the ball.
Yeah, had to, right area, but you need, if you're going to put it there, you need players running in on it and putting the keeper under pressure. I think she almost punched into the back of her own player. Or punched... No, end up punching Rodar instead.
Yeah.
But it worked out.
Linari. Now Corrales. Out wide. Plays it in behind. It's hit and hope.
Yeah.
London City, it's just pump it long. We'll hopefully get it in behind. Falk composed into Nagano.
Nagano's got acres in there.
Tries to find Enderby, but it's picked off by Sangare. Godfrey. Cuts it back.
Wow.
Biskin of great position. Wins it back. It's picked up on by Fernandez. Lovely give and go with Godfrey. Ball into the box. Clark clears it away. And it's hoofed clear by McLean.
Oh, I tell you what, still have no idea how this is going to go. Because Liverpool have probably been the better side for 71 minutes. But we know London City's MO this season seems to be nicking. I mean, the game between the reverse fixture between these two sides was an additional time penalty to win it for London City. So, yeah, still very much hanging in the balance. It definitely wasn't a penalty, but it was given and it was scored.
Well, that's the right-hand side. Header won there by Lucia Corrales. Nagano heads on. Perez commits quite a blatant foul. Missed the ball, but Gaoro gets there, and the referee not interested. Here is Analete. Now Linari. On to Corrales. Carrying on this left-hand side. Lovely pass into Aslani. In the pocket. Seemed to hit her hand. Corrales. Ball in. And a great header away from Fisk. And there's complaints now. Because seems just to bobble up and get nudged forwards by the hand there of Aslani. And that ball in. Really good stuff from Fisk.
Yeah. Fisk has been so good today for Liverpool. Massive boost to have her back in the side. Aslani with the corner. That is not in the quadrant.
Aslani lays it into Godfrey. Aslani again. Ball in. Headed away well by Fisk. Enderby lets it go to Woodham. Here come Liverpool now. Plays it forwards into Kapox. Holds on. Now will release Enderby down this right-hand side. Rodar looks to keep up with her. Enderby now. Knocks it back into the run of Parry, and it's too far ahead of her.
That was a good opportunity. Had numbers on the left-hand side as well. Had to use that better Liverpool on the counter. Had London City charging back. Just couldn't do anything with it. I think Aslani needs to be booked here for the foul on
that is a cynical one.
Yeah. Does go into the book. Third yellow card for London City.
Just chopped her down, really.
Yeah.
And now, London City will play out from the back. Perez plays it forward into Godfrey, who turns well. Now shifts it back inside. Gaoro back towards Godfrey. Wants to take on Fisk. Chops back. Blocked well by Fisk. And then cleared by Lily Woodham. 15 minutes to play, quarter of an hour to go. You can see Liverpool tiring. They don't really have the options off the bench.
Is there anyone on the bench?
Lundgaard could come on into midfield, potentially.
Yeah, maybe.
Just for some legs. They've got Bernabeu, Bonner and Evans.
So you could look at Bernabeu and Lundgaard, but yeah, you're not going to change your back line now.
Here is Bergstrom. Well, unless you want to concede. Wants to take on Corrales, knocks it out of play. The only bit fear will be around Grace Fisk if she can play 90.
Yeah.
But they needed to.
Yeah, they want to avoid having to bring on Evans or Bonner right now.
Bergstrom. Parry. Back to Alice Bergstrom. Aslani does well to get in front of the pass. Emily says, I still think we'll win 1-0. That penalty London City had last time we faced them was blatantly not a penalty. It was disgraceful. Maybe it'll be evened out.
Yeah, maybe.
Parry. Held on too well by Bergstrom. Back towards Parry now. And Aslani jostles her right into the corner. And that's gone for a goal kick. Good battle.
Yeah. Well fought by Parry and Aslani in that corner. And London City now are going to make another change. That is Francie.
Another player you forget is there sometimes, Francie. This will be a change in the forward area. Not going to happen yet, though. London City will build out on the left-hand side. Lenari. Now Corrales. Carries it forwards. Bergstrom will get there. Brilliantly assertive. Parry. Bergstrom. Can't keep that in touch. And that's out for London City. Throwing on this near side.
It's almost come a little bit too cute from Liverpool in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Just lacking a bit of conviction and just trying to prod it round corners and just poke it through. But yeah.
So Godfrey off for Francie then. Could she be the player to add a goal for London City? Anyway, says Grace has been good today. It also feels like Alice, Cornelia and Schmitz have had a good game. Yeah, I mean, I think Kapox, I would disagree with. I think she's just struggled with that final ball a little bit.
Mm.
You know, she's the kind of player you'd expect to step up and find the goal or create something.
Yeah.
And I just feel that she's let Liverpool down a little bit in that regard. It doesn't help they don't have Olsen, of course, but she's the player that you'd think without Olsen would step up. Parry playing it in behind. Enderby wants to make the run off the shoulder of Linari, puts her under pressure. Linari down to Perez, and it's picked off there, and here's Kapox. Perez tries to bring her down. Kapox drives it forwards. Now across to McLean. One more to Holland. Chance for Liverpool. Takes aim.
Oh.
Sails over the bar. Still can't test the goalkeeper in this game, Liverpool.
What a chance this late in the game. I thought McLean maybe shifted it a little bit too early, if anything. But I don't mind it. Holland here, though.
Got to hit the target.
Oh, yeah, you've got to keep it down, at least. You'd rather side foot it and pass it into the keeper's hands than blast it over the bar. Just try to...
Got to hit the target. Got to go across goal. Because if it either goes in or it gets parried down, you never know what can happen then.
That is wayward. But again, shows those signs. Liverpool opportunities to win this game.
The 3 points are there for the taking.
Yeah.
They've got to take them, though. London City have had one shot all game, and that was Paris's header that went directly up in the air.
Wow.
Outside of that, it has been and that created 0.06 XG. Outside of that, they've done nothing in this game. Liverpool, yes, they've been wasteful in front of goal, but without Olsen, they've done really well. At the moment, though, they will go unrewarded and take just a point from this game.
Massive 12 minutes. Lots of Liverpool fans will sense the opportunity. West Ham fans, I'm sure, will have their eyes glued to this game as well.
Yeah. A win here would climb Liverpool off the bottom of the table for the first time, I think, since October.
I mean, overall, this would put all those clubs down at the bottom under pressure.
Ball in towards the back post. Holland tries to get there. It's headed home by Fernandez.
Yeah, again, really good defending from Fernandez. Just managed to get the right side of Holland to get there first and knock it home.
Again, yeah, there's Nelson.
Yeah.
It's a difference, isn't it? That's a ball into the box with no target.
Yeah.
Kayoro now running in behind. Fisk will keep with her. Brilliant from Grace Fisk. Gets the challenge perfect once again.
Super from Fisk. Just another incredibly good performance.
Hasn't put a foot wrong.
Yeah. And again, this now feels the flip side of Liverpool's season has been the attackers doing great things, being let down by the defence. Now feels in this game the defence have been superb and they deserve a win. But the front line just can't get it together, can't put it in the back of the net.
Corrales. Now into Linari. Corrales. And then that's fizzed straight at Enderby, but it's at her back. Linari goes down to very little pressure. Enderby trying to win the ball back. Linari sends it forward. It's going to give us a free kick to London City. It's a free kick to Liverpool, anything for obstruction.
Yeah. And even so, London City managed to play on. Weird one. Just takes time out of the game, which will be the main thing for London City. Into the final 10 minutes.
Sangare. Back to Linari, and that draws a bit of space here for Linari. Of aimless ball forwards. Clark touches it down low to Aslani. Rodar. Well, that's behind the play, and McLean will put the pressure on Sangare. Hoofs it forwards. Yana Fernandez might well get there. Woodham does well. Fernandez has somehow kept that in play. Ball in. Chance for Goodwin. Headed away from goal. And now Bergstrom sends it up the line. Felt like Woodham jumped out of the way of that challenge from Fernandez. She just stood there. She'd been fouled.
Yeah, she wanted to try and see it out, I think. But yeah, Fernandez has got to get in there and keep it on. Goodwin, though, couldn't direct her header goalwards.
Corrales. Ball carried forwards well by Bergstrom. Can't quite hold on to it though. That's a pass back towards Gaioro. Now Perez just lifting it over the top. Parry will get there. Good defending. Now Aslani back towards Goodwin in this wide area. Parry's got to get tighter. Goodwin wants to take her on. Parry stands her up, sees her out. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, really good defending from Parry. Goodwin. Right idea to try and take her on around the outside, but well defended. And Liverpool doing well to just hold London City at arm's length, but they can't then they've just struggled to make anything happen up the other end.
Falk sends it forward, headed on by Holland. Envy tries to make that run off the shoulder, but Sangare will get there. Poked down the line and seen out, or knocked out by Rodar. 8 minutes to go. Will Liverpool get rewarded? Vander's still putting her hair up and having to defend.
Yeah.
Great battle there from Holland, being brought down by Sangare. And somehow London City get the ball back. Linari. Now Corrales. Shifts inside well. Aslani. Corrales back now into Sangare. Fernandez sends it forwards. Gaioro drops in well. Now Francie. Back into Freya Godfrey. Linari. Out now towards the left-hand side. And Corrales can't keep it in. So, Liverpool goal kick.
Just feels, it's got that feeling of, is it ever going to happen for one of these two sides? Liverpool, so close to that first victory. This feels like, this has felt like their most realistic opportunity. You know, you think back to the Brighton game, the Chelsea game. Yes, they led in those matches, but it always felt that the opposition were going to equalise. But today, London City really haven't looked like hurting them. This feels like the opportunity to get that first win on the board.
Aslani runs it out of play. Liverpool throw in. Not long to go now in this one.
Yes.
Can either side find a winner?
Yeah, it's going to go. It's going to be late and it's going to be great.
It feels like Sutton's got to go. Corrales heads it out of play.
So yeah, two sides who have both been quite error prone. Neither side still have a shot on target.
As Lloyd points out, they both sides just knackered.
Yeah.
It could be a bit of sloppiness that comes from that, that just creates the opportunity. Ball thrown forwards by Parry. Enderby contests it well. Here's Sangare. Fernandez. Forced backwards into Analete. Now Linari, great pressure. And that's knocked out of play by Bergstrom. Boykamp says, who is playing better? Liverpool, definitely. London City preparing yet another change.
So it's not changed their fortunes though. Still only one shot, or have they had another one?
London City?
Yeah.
One shot.
One shot.
That's the thing, this is a Liverpool side that don't have a striker on the pitch, or in the squad for that matter, have only been able to make one change, compared to London City side with so many resources, yet they've just been so lacklustre. I know it's Maestre's first game, and of course he deserves some leeway with that.
You still have more than one shot. You got 11.
But they've been really poor.
11 professional footballers out there.
They have swung the possession in this second half, just dictating more of the ball than Liverpool. Whereas first half it was Liverpool who had more of the ball. Good win. Corrales. Back now to Linari. Sangare. Great drive here from Wasa Sangare. He's found a burst of energy. Fisto on hand to deal with that ball pumped forwards. Fernandez. Ball sent long. Looking for Enderby. Corrales, though, picks it up. Linari. Now Aslani. Great block in there by Parry. And then tries to chip it up the line. It's blocked by the arm of Aslani. He's had to play for a throw. Change here for London City. It's going to be Poppy Pattinson. Presumably on at left back for Lucia Corrales. It is indeed.
Yeah, last, we'll say roll of the dice, but changing your left back out with 3 minutes to go doesn't really feel like a roll of the dice.
No, Beth asked player of the match. It's difficult to do when it still hangs on a knife edge. Hangs on a knife edge? Hangs on the balance? Sits on a knife edge.
Who knows?
New phrase, hangs on the knife edge. I would say
Fisk is definitely up there.
Yeah, definitely up there. McLean, I would say. I think she's been phenomenal in this game. Just her ability to battle away. I think her control of the football. I think that her being able to just get that ball out wide quickly hasn't really been perfect wrong in this game, McLean. So she's definitely up there for me.
Yeah.
Fisk Clark, I'd say as well. She stepped up well. Schmitz has had a really good game. Bergstrom, decent debut. Bit wasteful in front of goal. Enderby's done a better job than I thought she would. I mean, that's not saying much. I didn't think she'd be brilliant today. She's not really a striker. Hasn't really got the physical attributes to be a striker. But, yeah, cleared away well by Nagano. Sangare, quick on the scene, bounces around. And now here is Holland. Kapox on the ball. Nagano. Parry. Carrying it forwards now. Shifting it towards Bergstrom. Patterson will get there. And goes back to Linari. Can London City spring forwards here on the attack? Goodwin. Back to Rodar. Linari. Pattinson. Back to Aslani. Bobby Pattinson. One back well by Bergstrom. And here come Liverpool. Slips it in behind and they're unable to find Enderby.
Seen a lot of that this second half from Liverpool, trying to play balls in behind and just running out of pitch. But yeah, it'd be intriguing to see how many minutes of additional time we do get. Both sides. Well, Liverpool, I don't know if both sides will be hoping for more because, as you say, they've been quite tired. BBC have given Grace Fisk player of the match.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. That's a good ball though down the line. Fisk though once again wins the foot race, gets in there before Goodwin and snuffs out the danger.
Well, one out the pitch here. Nagano brought down. Gaioro into Francie and that's blocked. Second shot of the game. So that's important milestone. Pattinson. Aslani. Ball in. Falk out well. Brilliant punch. And now, what time have Liverpool and London City got left to play with? Brilliant drive here from Holland. Brought down 3 minutes of time.
Probably about right, based on what's happened in this game. Great drive from Holland. Perez trips her up. And I'm assuming will also be booked in the process. But a big 3 minutes for Liverpool. Can they find a winner? Get themselves off the mark for the season.
Yeah, what a moment it would be. Holland tries to head on. It's out of play.
To go long like that, especially and then put it in a wide area, is just not the right decision.
2 minutes left. Enderby can't hold on to it there. Feels like this game is doomed then for a 0-0. Unless Sun City can create something now, Parry will happily take that card.
It's a good foul. It's a good foul. The Asani there is spun at just take her out on the halfway line. Don't let her gain any ground. Very good foul. Minute and a half to play.
Pattinson rolls it to Linari. I think we'll actually take the free kick.
Surely it's got to go long for Linari, and it will.
Ball lumped in there. It'll bounce through. Falk, no issues claiming that. Can Liverpool spring forwards now with 60 seconds on the clock? Falk sends it forwards. Headed one by Fernandez. Will drop now for Woodham. Tries to play it up the line. Perez battles with McLean. One back in there by McLean. Holland shifts it on towards Enderby. She was fouled in there. Liverpool free kick.
Yeah, I'm surprised the card's not come out again. But it will be a Liverpool set piece. Now it's their turn to launch one into the box. This has got to be on the money from Woodham. Or will it be Holland? Either way, it's got to be fired into the box. Got to just launch it in there.
Ball in from Woodham. And that comes off the head of Linari. Will it be a foul or a corner? It's a foul. I think it's been given.
Yeah. Not see that one back. Didn't think there was too much in it. On Bergstrom and Linari. It was Clark. I don't think that's a foul. Maybe a bit of a tangle of the legs. But yeah, you'd think that will be that for this game. As Linari hobbles back to her feet.
Yeah. It's a game where you think if Liverpool had Beta Olsen, perhaps a Marie-Therese Herbinger, this may have gone very differently. That's 8 launches, and that's the full-time whistle here at the St Helens Stadium. Liverpool 0, London City Lionesses 0. Bottom place Liverpool yet to claim a win this season, but that was a much improved performance. A valiant effort. Just couldn't quite find the winning touch. End product lacked. They missed their star striker. Outside of that, though, Liverpool with a much better side here. London City, first game under Eder Maestre. They've got work to do, evidently, because that was lacklustre. But at full time, the points are shared. It's Liverpool 0, London City 0.
Yeah, Liverpool, a missed opportunity, you feel, to get a first win on the board. It's a big point, and it's a big clean sheet as well. Falk on debut.
Difference maker.
Yeah,
I mean, we didn't see her make a save.
No.
But her claims for balls in the box, her ability to play out, her launching of attacks as well, because she's a better distributor, top notch, fantastic recruitment. She's done brilliantly so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Massive part of that defence. Fisk back in as well. Huge. So the clean sheet is the positive, and there were plenty of positives for Liverpool. As you say, lacking Beta Olsen felt like it, was probably the main reason why they didn't manage to win the football match, but neither side with a shot on target is not ideal in the slightest. But yeah, I think both sides will go again. A lot of work to do for Eder Maestre and London City, because I think they'll find themselves quite fortunate to come over a point from that game.
It's a difficult run to start life for Maestre. This was the relief, really. They've got Sunderland in the FA Cup, granted. They shouldn't have any issues there, but it's not a nice trip. Travelling up to Sunderland, the Sunderland side who will be keen to prove a point. They're then playing Manchester City at home, Brighton away, Everton at home, United away, Arsenal at home, Chelsea at home.
Wow.
That's into March. It's not a nice run now for London City. Everton is the respite. Brighton will be such an important game, but Brighton will be keen to get one over London City, and Everton are a side who desperately need points. So it's a run now for London City. It's going to be really tough. And I wouldn't be surprised if they struggle to pick up wins in that run. So we'll see what happens with London City in the next few weeks. If the first half season is anything to go by, they'll struggle against the top 4 sides. They got tanked in all of their games, really, against those opposition. So City next week, or in 2 weeks' time, obviously, with the FA Cup, will be a tough test. That, though, is everything for this weekend. What an enjoyable game, week 12 of WSL action. We'll be back tomorrow with our weekend roundup. To join us for that, we'll be running through every WSL game, analysing how it went. We'll be back on Tuesday with the transfer show, and then from Thursday this week, the FA Cup fixtures are here. On Thursday, we have the game between Everton and West Brom, which should be a good test. On Friday, West Ham take on Newcastle. That's going to be a really tight game, I reckon. I could see Newcastle winning that match. Nothing on Saturday. I know London City have Sunderland on BT, but we're not about on Saturday. We will be back on Sunday as there's an all WSL clash between Arsenal and Aston Villa takes place. So a lot of FA Cup action to look forward to next weekend. A lot of live streams throughout this midweek. Wednesday and Saturday, the only days this week we're not live. So join us every other night of the week for some sort of discussion or football. So yeah, very exciting week to come. That is everything from us today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.